Hello.
Hello.
I got 2 free smartphones when I switched to Metro PCS.
One for him and one for me.
It's not for you. It's for people like me.
And parrots.
I knew I should have gotten a dog.
Get 2 free Samsung Galaxy J3 Prime smartphones when you switch 2 lines to Metro PCS and enjoy a 4G LTE network that's more reliable than ever before. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in past 90 days. See store for details, terms, and conditions.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dez, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to get the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topic, sorta like the rebels when it's game time. They like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4 for 26 or the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
What's good, War Room family? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm your Aki, Devin McMillan. I'm at the round table with Jimmy, the West Indian Blueprint, and the homie B. Austin. The NBA Finals are here. I don't know, how excited most of you out there are. I mean, I'm pretty sure most NBA fans are really, really excited right now because we knew from minute 1, second 1, prior to the NBA season, who these 2 teams were going to be in the NBA Finals. It was just formalities and just a matter of time until we finally got back to this matchup for a third time. So we're going to break everything down every which way. We're also going to take your calls and get your thoughts as well. So keep it locked right here at NBA Finals Central for the next 2 hours. And if you want to holler at us throughout the show, join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That'll be in a matter of minutes. That number is 323-410-0012. But before we discuss this highly anticipated series, of course, we got a few shout-outs throughout the week. Be sure to check out the War Room Sports Podcast Network. Besides our own podcast, The War Room, you can also listen to shows such as The Broad Street Line with Roy and Chris. Shout out to those guys. The Tissue and the Tape Hip Hop Show with Phil Maddock and Savage John Appetit. For all you foodies out there with the Burtons, the No Look Pass Basketball, NBA Basketball Podcast with Frank and Andy. Bump and Run for all you NASCAR heads out there with Robin Vandenberg and her crew. On the Couch with the Wilsons if you love TVs and movies and a whole lot more. Just visit warroomsports.com. Click the WRS Podcast Network tab or go to our free mobile app and click the network tab there. You brothers ready for an epic legacy-defining series? It's finally on. Excited?
Yo, I need this finals to be everything and more than it's billed because the playoffs was wickety whack. I need this to hold it down for the rest.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I pretty much thought, because, I've been down on NBA basketball altogether probably the past, half decade to a decade or so. I actually thought the regular season was pretty good, but I think that was just because it was so historical as far as individual players went. You had the historic run by Westbrook, Harden, LeBron did his thing. He's playing some of the best basketball of his career. Cats like Kawhi Leonard. You just had a lot of historical performances, and the numbers are gaudy. But overall, I still don't think, the level of play overall was where it could be, in my opinion, with the athletes of today, or where it probably should be. But, the playoffs was a total letdown. So it's about time they get this started. This series needs to go about 8.5 games to make up to the fans for what we just witnessed over the past 2 months.
Trash.
Yeah. Trump juice. You know what I'm saying? But, it's been crazy. So
we're in an era where O'Donnell Foyle would get $200 million. And Reggie Evans will get
welcome back to West Indian Jim. Back from the islands, man. Came back a grown-ass man, too.
Back in the building, grown as hell. You know what I'm saying? Ready to argue with somebody calling himself an argument.
Well, don't nobody know what you're saying. Don't nobody know what you're saying.
But it's just interesting, you know. Jimmy left the country as a boy, came back as a man. That's just how it goes sometimes. Look, so I'll take us in. You know, we're gonna get right into this NBA Finals talk because I know that's what everybody wants to hear. So that Digital Extreme Tech hotline is now open. That number is 323-410-0012. If you just happen to be, make sure when you call in, you press 1, first of all, if you want to talk. But also, if you happen to be listening by phone anyway and you feel like you got something to say, just press 1. We'll see you on the switchboard, and we'll get to you so we can get your opinion on these NBA Finals. So NBA Wrap is brought to you by Jimmy's Book, Sports, The Book, SPORTS. Smart people only read the sports. Look, you guys tired of reading the same old sports book, tired old sports lists, rankings, imaginary starting lineups, the GOAT debates? Well, be sure to pick up your copy of Sports. Like I said, smart people only read the sports. This is the Illmatic of sports books, and it's a mixture of sports and hip-hop culture to keep you mesmerized from beginning to end, and you will laugh your ass off. So just go to sportsthebook.com and get your copy from our website, warroomsports.com, wherever you get it from. Just make sure you do not miss that movement. All right, hopefully they're playing some basketball because in the past few rounds, there's only been a couple of teams playing basketball. And the thing is, like, people think that, you know, when we say this, we're just talking as if we're just talking about the series that included these two teams. Like, no, like when these two teams weren't playing, the playoffs were still bad. There was a few sparks in the first round. You know, I can recall back to when we talked about the Cleveland-Indiana series. You know, even though it was a sweep, it was competitive. But still, at some point, you know, you want the other team to get some wins, you know, maybe take it deep into the series, Game 6, Game 7. But, you know, as far as these two teams are concerned, we didn't get that. Cleveland's entering the finals 12-1. Golden State's entering the finals 12-0. So this was almost a matchup of two teams going into the NBA finals undefeated. But Boston was able to eke one out and show everybody why they were the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. All right.
Right.
Let's get right into it. All right. So all we've heard all week, I'm not even going to say all week because this series has been talked about throughout the whole playoffs. It was like I said, it was a formality. Like all the other teams were being disrespected because series were still going on. And we were talking, you know, everyone was looking forward to the NBA Finals. But what we've heard a lot of lately is the word legacy. Like these NBA Finals, there's a lot of legacies at stake in these particular finals. What are, you know, some of the things, what do you guys think is on the line? Who is it on the line for? You know, who can help their legacy the most with a win right here? Who can hurt their legacy the most with a loss right here? What are your thoughts on all the legacy talk?
I mean, well, considering LeBron has already been named the GOAT, considering LeBron has already been named the GOAT,
he has nothing to lose.
Yeah, I don't know what he can lose other than to give more points for his haters to point at. In terms of the other team, I mean, they're an amazing team, probably one of the best teams I've ever seen, even though they play in what seems to be a weak league. But the fact is, this is a team that went to the finals and somehow added the second best player in the world, arguably, to a team that already went to the finals 2 straight years. So
and broke the regular season record for wins.
I'm not going to get into who I think is going to win the series yet, but with that being said, right, you know, we're talking about legacies here. So let's just say that the Warriors win and the Warriors win easy. I don't even know how that affects legacy. I hear a lot of people saying, well, this will give KD the championship. but I honestly believe that it'll kind of be a little of an empty thing. I'm one of the guys that didn't knock him for leaving. Now, with that being said, I think you have your right to leave, but you also have to take what comes with that, which is the criticism. So the criticism from me, a guy that didn't knock you for leaving, is what are you really going to accomplish even if you win here?
Then what? Yeah, if you win, then what?
If you win here, what are you really accomplishing? I know my history.
I don't think any of us knocked him for leaving. But did you knock him for the team that he chose to go to when he left? Because I think that was the biggest knock, not him leaving.
It seemed like a pretty done deal that he was going to leave. So I'm with you on that, B.
It was kind of weak. It was kind of weak when you look at it, like you can't beat them, join them type thing. And I wanted him to come to the Sixers so he could get a haircut. Like, I wanted him to come play.
And Jim, I know you didn't look at it like me and B looked at it, but I know that you know, even if it's in your head, had some bars for the fact that he talked trash when LeBron did this. That's what made it.
I do. I mean, and in retrospect, looking at the entire situation and how everything played out now that we're in the finals, right, is weird because I saw Nick Wright say something, and I know he was only saying it to take up for LeBron, but the point that he was making was, when LeBron left, he went to a team and made that team a contender. Miami wasn't a contender before him. He said that the difference between LeBron and KD is KD went to a team that didn't even need him to be a contender. So it's a little different, right? Now, he was saying
but there's even context to
pretty
that,
much
though, because you know, we all know the story. LeBron got together with dudes. Yeah. They're automatic contenders as soon as those three guys sign the dotted line.
No, absolutely. I agree. Like I said, he was saying that to cut LeBron's junk. I get that. But when he said that, it made me go back and think about the fact that there was other options, right? Like, a lot of people speculated him going home to D.C., but when you look at what D.C. has in the run that they made this year, adding Kevin Durant could have made the Eastern Conference Finals, because there's no way the Celtics would have beat them with KD. I just don't think so. So you look at some of the other places.
They would have been the number one seed, in my opinion, with KD. That doesn't mean that they would automatically beat Cleveland in the series, but they would have been the number one seed because LeBron would have took the game.
They ball, and they're not. They are not trash, even though they lost to Boston. Like their backcourt
not trash,
job.
But they're just not as talented as, say, a Cleveland or even a Golden State. They can't win. But adding KD to the mix there, that kind of does something. So when I look now, now that the season is over, and I'm like looking around the whole league, I'm like, okay.
Jim, KD ain't want that heavy lifting. KD didn't want that heavy lifting.
And I get that. But and that goes.
Wait, I got some bars about that. In particular,
well, hold on. The last thing I'm gonna say about that is this, B. Austin, is that we're seeing a time, right, where the alpha males just aren't the best players, right? Because even when you look at a team like Golden State, people hate Draymond, but for all accounts, he's like the alpha male on that team, right? It's weird because we're used to a different culture. We're used to when you're the best player, you're the alpha male by default. And it's just not that way. I mean, and I think that
so this is why Ray Allen is celebrated.
After Draymond is like Matt Barnes.
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying
and he don't even play.
It's sort of like the analogy I guess I could use is sort of like it's like hip hop. Hip hop is being run by weirdos now. The tough guys don't run hip hop. It's the weirdos. It's like we're just at a different time where the guys who are uber talented, they're just not. I mean, LeBron has kind of grown into a grumpy old man type thing. But even himself, when he was the best player in the world years ago, by all accounts, he wasn't an alpha male. Like, he wasn't that guy. And you see someone like KD who didn't have a problem settling in and being just one of the guys instead of being that guy. And, you know, it hurts us because we're used to, as my brother B. Austin says, competitive greatness, where you want to strive and be that guy. And now guys are like, look, it's Mike's fault. I got to win chips or I'm not relevant. I'm not relevant in conversation without chips. And now I'm going, and he's taking it the furthest in terms of doing anything in his power just to get that ring.
The funny thing is, though, because, you know, we've all agreed that it is Mike's fault, but they're going about it in a way that, you know, even if you're not a Michael Jordan stan, you would know, like, this ain't what Mike would have envisioned.
No, it's
I mean,
not.
Like, he did it on purpose.
This ain't what Mike did.
they're doing it in a totally they're trying to be Mike in a totally un-Mike way.
But also, Dad, is it really? If you think about it, when you really think about it, is it really Mike's fault or is it our fault as fans? Because
it's
the fans. Yeah, it's the fans.
But Jordan era,
because
when we say that, Jim, I definitely mean that the Michael Jordan era ushered in a certain type of thinking for the fans that have messed the game up. Because the fans put so much pressure on people. Like I always say, like nobody talked about Bill Russell during the Michael Jordan era. But after Bill Russell, that became the benchmark.
It's different. Let me go back to KD though. Let me give KD a couple bars. When we watched Clay have his 60-point game, and when you score 60, it has to be celebrated.
4 times.
But he didn't touch the floor of the ball. When the same thing that allowed Clay to get 60 easily, if you watch Kevin Durant, especially in the second half of the season, his scoring, let's be clear, KD and Melo and probably James Harden, you can throw Kyrie in there a little bit. Those are the most scorers, the most potent scorers in the game are those 3 gentlemen. KD's scoring now on Golden State is so easy that they should dock him points. Like when he gets 30, it should only count as 22. Like him getting buckets now is so easy that it's and you want easy buckets. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not the same. It's almost meaningless. It's
because
you're going to get 30 just because.
And that's the thing. Like I don't even knock Golden State. Golden State became a super team organically. Real talk, kind of like the old days. They got lucky in drafting. They got lucky in people doing where they fit into this whole super team realm. Is KD coming there and them, picking KD up on this team where they did not need KD. So,
let me ask you guys a question
for that. Like none of these dudes got together like that. Like they got lucky and they had a bunch of dudes drafted who people did not know were going to be as good as they ended up being. And
no one knew that.
They set the record with that, and then KD joined. Right.
And that's a good point, right? But the thing is now, in order to compete with this team, you're kind of going to have to, it's going to create a domino effect where super teams will have to be made. And, I don't know what the league can even do to stop this. I mean, the floodgates are open, and guys are basically becoming their own GM at this point.
You know who has a chance to do this organically? And it's all because of the process. I'm not saying this just because I'm a 76ers fan. But if Embiid and Simmons, and if those guys turn out to be what they're supposed to be, and then we keep getting surprise players like Saric, stepping into, because nobody thought stuff was that good when he came in. You know what I'm saying? When after Embiid got hurt, the dude damn near averaged 20 a game for the rest of the season. Nobody thought dude was going to be that good, especially as a rookie. So if you keep getting this, you get another draft pick who surprises you. This could be another organically built team, even though people didn't like how it went. You got some fans who don't believe in it. Shout out to B. Austin.
That's the other thing. So it's like either because look at this. I mean, even the Celtics the Celtics are not that far off. And shout out to Brad Stevens and watching back that series, like Brad Stevens makes a difference as a coach, and you can literally see him get wins.
He does.
And that's amazing.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. He showed me something. You're right. He showed me something.
Brad Stevens makes you think that the Celtics are closer than they really are, Jimmy.
That might be a good point.
What's funny about that is other coaches recognize that. I had a conversation with someone today. I didn't even get a chance to tell you guys this, but he's very close friends with Tyronn Lue to the point where they have dinner at each other's houses. And he was telling me a conversation that he had with Coach Lue, getting ready to coach in the finals, and how he's jokingly said, I'm jealous of Brad Stevens because he gets to kind of like, show what he can do because he has the players to do that. He said, I try to call plays like that, but LeBron will flag me off and Kyrie just want to hold the ball. He was like, and J.R. Smith can't remember the plays we got.
That's funny, though. The funny thing is, though, Lou is modest enough, take yourself light enough guy to admit that, even though he's in a joking way, but he's real.
He said, but the funny part is, he was like, he said, and JR can't remember the plays that we already got, so I can't even add anything new in there. So, and this guy is like literally like one of his close friends, like so. But it's funny because I just talked to him today at a funeral, and we started talking basketball of all things. But anyway, so the thing is, like, getting back to my original point about that. I know, because there was so many ball players because the ball play ball, but that's either here nor there. But the thing is, you start looking at the what's going to happen in the league. Now, you say that it can be done organically with the Sixers, and it can be. But the problem is, either you have to tank like the Sixers or Boston, or like have basically players become GMs. I don't know what the solution is. I mean, because I'm pretty sure the game has been through so many things.
I'm hopeful that we can see more organic growth in the game and more organic development, because this running to team up because it's too hard and it's too and it's too tough. I can't take it, man. Shout out to Brad Stevens. You deserve a shot because, as I said on last week's episode, man, all due respect to Isaiah Thomas, I respect everything he's about. I'm a supporter. I'm a fan. But when we look at the larger context, you can't win with a dude that's 5'6" and 140 pounds, man. Like, if that's your offense, he their best player. Avery Bradley, he's come a long way, but he's never going to be a true offensive threat. He can get you 20 or 30 2 or 3 times a season, but you don't want to have to depend on that backcourt. So that means Isaiah Thomas is everything. I think Brad Stevens showed his mettle as a great coach getting them this far, because I think they're going to be right back in the lottery in a couple.
With everything you said, they came within 3 games of the NBA Finals, and that's one
how
of the ways. That's one of the ways where you manipulate statistics, because they came nowhere near close to being in the finals. They came within 3 games of the NBA Finals. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going to happen overall, because like the
I got a question real quick for both of y'all. Who's better, Boston or Toronto? Who's the better team?
Boston. Toronto quit.
Shit. But
I mean, Toronto has like players. Like if you were to draft like from the 2 teams, you probably would take like 2 players from Toronto before any Boston player. But Boston overall is a better team.
I'm about to say, and plus Toronto, even though they have a couple of quote unquote stars, those dudes have yet to show up in the playoffs. For real. Like when it going really got tough. Yeah, and that's that's the label that they're getting now. So that's a label that you don't want, but they've started to get that. Hold on, let's go back.
Mid-range Mickey tried to show up.
Let's go back to something, because you were talking about the running and teaming up and all that kind of stuff. Shout out to Rob Parker. That's why I called you yesterday to see if you could call him and see if he could pop in on the show for a few minutes today, because I was watching a clip where he was talking about LeBron's legacy, and that, the whole super teaming thing is going to be a part of his legacy, because usually people take cues from the best player. So you have things like, the super team thing. Like, even though a cat like Kevin Durant talked trash about it, he went and did something that was probably worse, because they're looking at it like, okay, LeBron did it. And, we all know that the public has a short memory. So LeBron was really bashed at the time for doing it, but he's 3 championships in now. And, now everybody is talking about he's the greatest player of all time. Kevin Durant is just probably, thinking it'll blow over. It doesn't matter. It'll blow over at some point. And 20 years from now, like Jimmy always says, people who weren't really around for it, they're not even going to know how he got his championships. They're just going to know that Kevin Durant was a great player and he got such and such amount of championships, and that's just how his legacy is going to be. But the point that Rob Parker made, do y'all think that it has any merit? Because he also talked about, this time that we're in when people are resting. Now, LeBron didn't start that. Popovich probably gets the credit for that. But like he did mention earlier in his diatribe, people take cues from the best person. So even the people who were a little reluctant to start doing that, they see that LeBron does it, so it's okay. So y'all think that are things that will hurt him?
I totally agree with everything Rob Parker said, but I do not think that it will be what he's saying will have relevance with the average or the casual fan, because the average and casual fan is conditioned and comfortable with what we have as the NBA today. They don't have a frame of reference to compare to say that, oh, okay, this is not how it should be, or this is not how I'm comfortable with it, with it being. So I don't think there are far more people that will say, oh, Rob Parker, you're just a quote-unquote hater whenever you express an alternative position or opinion. There's far more that will call him a hater than really dig down into the merits of his point.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what, though? And I watched the clip. I posted it in our group chat and everything. I saw the clip and I saw what he was saying, and he made a lot of valid points because he brought up something that I didn't think about, which Dev already mentioned, and how once the best player does it, it gives everybody else carte blanche to go ahead and do it, and I get that. But I also recognize now, being a grown man, because I just became grown, that how there's so much revisionist history in sports. So it makes me question everything, because now there's players that I grew up watching play, and I see how the narrative has changed on them. So when I see all the old heads talk about, Wilt and Dr. J in his prime, I start to question all that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Was Dr. J really picking up quarters off the top of the backboard, or was that just revisionist history? So
that was just straight up lying.
Jimmy,
Jim, that was just straight up lying.
If he was doing it, he was doing it with his right hand, because he certainly wasn't doing it with his left.
Yeah, that's a good point. But here's my thing, right? So LeBron is obviously got a seat at the table. Shout out to Solange. And with that being said, he's going to have this done to his game as well. You know what I mean? Like, by the time they start talking about LeBron and his legacy, like some of the faults and some of the things that we've seen are going to be wiped away. Like, sort of like a lot of MJ's faults are wiped away. A lot of LeBron's faults are going to be wiped away.
Or they're going to be flipped.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting about it. LeBron coming back to Cleveland and getting that win did so much for his legacy, which is why I said that's worth like 3 championships, because that's going to help create the narrative. It's going to be the kid coming home. It's like a Disney movie, and they're going to get rid of a lot of these blemishes. And
the prodigal son.
With KD following it up by doing that, it's like KD took all the heat off LeBron. He gets all the hate now. No one even remembers LeBron. I mean, we do. But a lot of people don't even talk about LeBron going to South Beach anymore. It's all about what KD did. Like KD,
plus,
literally.
People flip the context of that point you just made, like LeBron coming home, because fans and professional analysts alike, they totally ignore whatever else happens around the team when LeBron joins or leaves the team. So all they're going to look at, like we mentioned earlier, the narrative already is, okay, LeBron left Cleveland, made Miami a contender. That's what the story is going to say. The story is not going to, really mention, Chris Bosh was a 24-11 All-Star at the time. Dwayne Wade was a killer at the time. They picked up a bunch of veterans who wanted to play for
Mike Miller won them the finals.
Yeah, I mean, they got a bunch of good veterans to fit in and shooters, because these guys played for less money to get a championship because they saw what they were building down there. People just make it seem like, okay, LeBron joins your team and your record goes way up. LeBron leaves your team and your record goes way down. Nobody's talking about how many other people leaves the team at the same time, how many people bolt and go with LeBron.
What you're talking about basically is context. I said what you're talking about is basically context, because one way to look at it is he is such a great player and such a dominant force that him shifts a lot of things. So that's not really a knock on him. It's basically saying that, yo, where I go, I'm bringing ruckus with me because I am who I am. But it's also context. It's not like people
it's just telling people tell the whole story, you know?
Yeah, it's context, and people forget context, specifically in sports arguments. People forget, context. So,
I mean, this is a sport. Sports is so tied to emotion, and because of the society we live in, like we actually are we swing the pendulum back towards the middle, meaning us, War Room Sports, because we give the people more to think about intellectually rather than just merely going off of their emotions, their favorite player, so to speak. I think that the LeBron narrative of being the GOAT, that in and of itself is disrespectful to so many players because he's not yet better than – I wouldn't say he's better than Larry Bird, better than, Wilt, better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, better than Elijah Wan. I mean, there's a whole host of players out there that I really don't think at this point, with the holes that I still see in his game, and at this point I think they will remain in his game, I don't think that I can't even have that conversation about GOAT. I definitely feel as though he deserves a seat at the table because the same thing that I use to knock him, I can also use to laud him too. The fact that this guy really has a high basketball IQ, but he's not really that skilled, but he's still so dominant, that's a testament to how great an athlete he really is. He has no footwork. He has no perceptible go-to move. He can't really shoot. He's a terrible free throw shooter. And he'll still get you 30 and 12.
This might be the most slanderous compliment I ever heard in my life.
but I get you. He might be the most flawed legend of all time.
But you know what, though?
But he's
I put a lot of thought into this because I have no life. This is what I do. But it's also a situation where when you look at everything else that he has to deal with, when you take it and look at it on a granular level, so he also has to deal with basically being in a social media age where everything that he does is critiqued. I mean, a lot of those guys didn't have to deal with as much that he has to deal with. So it's hard to say.
But Jimmy, he creates that and welcomes that, though. It's not like he shuns that or walks away.
No, sometimes, but sometimes not. I mean, this is what we'll talk about later with his house being vandalized. I mean, everything that he does is news. Like LeBron James goes for a jog, it makes the news. This is part of the world we live in. A lot of it is not his fault. A lot of it is timing. You know what I mean? So we don't know how his skills will translate, but I know that off the court he has to deal with a lot that a lot of the older players didn't. And a lot of them will tell you, you hear them say, man, thank God I ain't have to worry about this. A lot of them didn't even play within the 24/7 news cycle. So it's it's a little bit different. I mean, but with that being said, if we're just judging his game, that's why the whole concept of Table of Gods is kind of just where I'm going with it at this point, because you really can't compare eras. Comparing eras is damn near impossible. It's just because there's too many variables. So is he better than Larry? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But what I would say is him and Larry can sit at the table in terms of the legendary table. They're both there.
There, busting a grub.
Let me ask you a question. And this is not the end all be all of someone being in the finals or being in the playoffs. At the end of a game, you have 12 seconds left. You're down 1, 2, or 3. And you're given enough in terms of free throws to tie the game or go ahead. Do you want Larry or LeBron taking those free throws?
That's easy.
Neither. But hold on though. It's funny you mentioned that because that's one of those Michael Jordan things too. And Julius Erving, the doc, has a little part in his book where he talks about this and how Jordan changed the game to now your star player has to make their shots in the clutch and do all these things. And he talks about how it got to this is just his perspective on the newer generation. He talks about how you would run a play all game long and that play would work, But for some reason now, with 10 seconds left, you don't want to run that same play that worked all 45 minutes. You want to clear it out and give it to your best player. That's not the way basketball is supposed to be played.
I get that, but that's actually another discussion outside of what I'm asking. I'm saying your star player had the ball in their hands, maybe from running the play that you've been running all game long, and there's an opportunity here, and he has to go seal the game and win the game, or at least do his job on the foul line, on the free throw line.
Oh, I mean, Larry Bird's one of the best free throw shooters of all time, though. Like, I'm taking Larry Bird over Michael Jordan.
You can ask that, Larry versus
a
lot of people.
Magic Johnson versus LeBron James.
I'm taking Larry Bird over everybody except Mark Price. Like, Larry Bird was one of the greatest foul shooters.
Yeah, I know. That was a bad example. I just picked one of the greatest free throw shooters ever. Magic and LeBron at the free throw line.
That's an unfair question for me. But I get your point. I get your point. LeBron's not a great free throw shooter.
Yo,
just
your man shoots 68 in the playoffs. Like, you can't shoot 68 in the playoffs. I
mean, I get that. But that's what you do is when you're beating people by 30. That kind of does not matter. A lot of great players aren't great free throw shooters, and I get that. I mean, you talk about like Wilt Chamberlain or Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of them were terrible foul shooters. But
I saw even Shaq. Now I don't have the numbers to prove this, but I need to research it. But as bad as Shaq was at free throw shooting, he stepped it up in the playoffs. Probably went from 50 to 58.
Shaq went like 2 times. Shaq made clutch free throws, and people take that and run with it. Like, when it really matters.
I remember I had an argument about that last week. No, Shaq was a terrible free throw shooter. Like that. Like,
shout out to Hank. It's called Hack a Shaq. Shaq ain't played in 15 years.
And most of the times they did it. Remember, it was a different strategy back then when they first started it. A lot of those times the Lakers was busting somebody's ass and they were trying to catch up. Now people will do it with a lead just to make sure
they do it in the first quarter.
Yeah, people will just do it because it's just a strategy. It's a part of the game. It's like, look, if I can stop them from scoring somehow, I'm going to do it. Back then, it was like, the Lakers are kicking our ass. Let's put Shaq on the line and maybe
this year it got even worse. They started going to the small forwards like old boy from Oklahoma City.
Hacker guard. But let me get
my man is
emotionally on the line.
He's emotionally damaged behind that, He's emotionally damaged.
We got some calls on the line we want to get to, but I still want to ask you guys a couple more things about this whole legacy thing, because when we talk legacy, it's mostly LeBron and Kevin Durant. Now we look at a lot of, the LeBron Jordan conversation has ratcheted up over the past few weeks. I'm not really sure why, but if somebody already thinks he's up there, there's really nothing he can do to lose that position. But this is my question, because everybody talks about how, this is 7 straight finals. He's made 8 altogether. But at this point, are we just celebrating people for getting there? Because he has a sub 500 record in the finals. But look, this is the pendulum finals right here, because he can, if Cleveland wins this finals, he can at least get to 500 in the finals with a 4-4 record. If they lose this finals, he's 3-5 in finals all time. And can you truly say, out of your mouth, that the greatest player of all time, went that? I'm not saying this as a joke. I'm just saying, can you truly say that out of your mouth, that the greatest basketball player of all time went 3 or 5 in finals, or maybe worse, or maybe he'll go to a few more and make it better. But at this point, and if they lose, he'll be 3-5 in the finals. It's great that you've won the Eastern Conference all this time, but the point is to win, right?
Yeah.
We live in participation trophies, man. Everybody gets a trophy.
Now, here's the thing, though. I think it definitely is difficult. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills, because, honestly, they're probably one of the best football teams to ever play, and they're probably better than some Super Bowl winners. But they ran into, that Cowboys dynasty who wiped the floor with them and, lost to a couple other teams. But we've always been like,
their sport was bad for them, because I guarantee you some of them people the Bills lost to, they would have beaten 7-game series.
I mean, this
they
is true.
Lost by a
Here's
field
the thing,
goal.
right?
That's a good point.
That's the great thing about sports and the great thing about football is any given Sunday. But it's crazy because it's crazy because I do see that with LeBron, but you don't see anybody else getting that excuse. So it's like, are we going to go back and have revisionist history on like the Utah Jazz and Karl Malone? They went a couple times, but got their dream shattered by Mike. Like, are we going to do that too? Are we going to go back to the Trailblazers and call them great?
Not really, Jim, because in these LeBron Jordan arguments, the Jazz are all of a sudden not a great team. Mike didn't play against any competition in his finals wins. So it depends on what side you fall on. People will always flip the context of statistics. They're not even they'll flip the variables to make their guy look better. Like LeBron, people are going to do, when they compare him to Mike, they're going to do age comparisons. But they're not going to remind you that, LeBron had like a 2 or 3 year head start on Mike. Mike's people are definitely going to stick to the season comparisons because, by year 13, Mike's his numbers look way better than by age 32 in comparison to LeBron. So, people are going to stick to the argument that makes their guy.
Well, hold on though. Speaking of that, right? Currently in our group chat, Hank is saying that he's calling in. He's actually already on the line waiting to be brought on because he heard us disrespecting Shaq, and he don't play no Shaq disrespect.
Shaq is a clown.
All right, we got a line. Let's go out to, we got Rob and Callie. We get to Rob real quick, and then we'll get to Hank. Rob's been waiting for a while. Rob, what's going on, good brother?
What's up, man? Can y'all hear me, man?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Ramadan Mubarak. Go ahead.
Give us your NBA Finals prediction. Who's going to win the series? How many games, and who's going to be the MVP?
Oh, okay. But by the way, you can tell it's Ramadan, man, because I know some of my females with mother who just dried out, don't want to speak to your boy, always in the mood. But anyway, man, but you said about the series.
Yeah, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win?
B. Austin really. I don't know. So sometimes when B. Austin articulate, man, he really articulates somebody people he really don't like LeBron. I don't know who he does it really, but he does it really well. It's gonna be a flop fest. At the same time, it's gonna be just like the Spurs just like the last couple of NBA Finals with the Spurs. But it's gonna be good because the matchups is gonna be, it could just cancel each other out. Like you got Kyrie versus Curry, you got I think the X factor has to be LeBron versus Durant. I mean, you got.
So how is that an X factor? LeBron versus Durant is an X factor. Hey Rob, man, it's like you've been smoking some dope out there, man. I know y'all got that good herb out there, man.
I mean, Ramadan. He's hungry. You can tell he ain't got no energy, man. He's hungry as hell.
He been Sherman. He is out there meeting Sherman Health.
All right, but hey, Rob, we gonna analyze the series, man. We just need you to tell us who's gonna win, how many games, and MVP.
Who's gonna win? I really want to say,
that Purple City Bird
I really
game.
want to say the Cavs. But here's the thing. The thing is that it's hard because I don't like each team. I don't like Durant and I don't like LeBron.
Okay, but I didn't ask you who you
don't gotta be who you like.
It's
gotta be who
like you can pretty much say that. Rob, you could pretty much say, I hope it's a tie, or I hope both of their planes crash on travel day. That I'm speaking from Rob's perspective, not mine. You can say whatever you want. I'm just asking you, who do you think's gonna win?
I'm still conflicted, man. I'm still conflicted.
Right, we're gonna hang up on you, man.
Okay,
what do you mean you're
okay.
conflicted?
Hang on you, man.
Okay. I think possibly it could be Golden State in 6.
Good choice. All right,
I
we out, brother. We love you.
All right, peace, man.
All right, Rob. Thanks for your call, good brother. We gotta get some other calls, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Yo,
peace.
Yo,
my nigga, Rob is definitely high, yo. Rob is high. His speech was slurring. My man is smoking that good out there. Rob, you got that piss, man.
Yo,
Salute.
smoking that Sherman Helmsley.
All right, man. Let's go to the homie Hank, man. Hank probably mad that he had to wait behind that. Hank, what's going on, good brother? Welcome to the War Room.
Hank, you not high, is you?
Uh-oh.
Another one.
Yo, is Hank on that piss too? Yo, we find out Hank is on Molly and Percocet. Molly
Yo, take that mask off.
I caught a contact from your boy, man. Y'all made me wait for that. Y'all fans are the most entertaining, man. I must say. First and foremost, I gotta say I want to fight Jason Whitlock. I know we didn't get to that yet, but I need to set up some sort of charity boxing match that me and Jason Whitlock can get it in.
I don't even think that could happen because as soon as you swing, I'm a swing too. So it's gonna end up us beating him up.
That's fine. I mean, he doesn't believe that anything is unfair anyway. So it's okay as long as you got money. Nothing's unfair.
Good point.
Good point.
I'm gonna pull the camera out and get it for World Star or maybe TMZ because that's Hank's company.
Yeah, shout out to TMZ. Yo, but real quick before I let y'all get on. Yes, you're absolutely correct. No slack, no Shaq slander in any way whatsoever.
Shaq is a noodle.
Shaq is absolutely
and Shaq is police.
Shaq is absolutely 100% from the free throw line in clutch situations. Like you said, I don't have the video proof or statistics to prove it, but in my memory,
that is a POMA statistic. POMA pulled out my.
But no, speaking of statistics and the way that we remember things, Jimmy, you did touch upon the fact that LeBron is in the social media era, which I think is important. Yeah. But beyond that, he's also the first person in the basketball national TV every single night era. So I would venture to say, as much as we all love basketball and as much as we've been watching our whole lives, we've seen more LeBron James games than anybody else that we mentioned that we put on the pedestal. And
I mean, we've literally seen his entire career. Like we've seen his entire career.
Every game on ESPN. We've seen every single low and every single high. Whereas for most of these guys, all we saw was their highs. We would see them on Sunday when it was national and they knew that everybody was watching and they would bring out their A game. Whereas with LeBron, we see him on a Tuesday, and if he misses a shot on a Tuesday, it's
going up.
Exactly. It's national news the entire week. You have to take that into account when you're comparing him to these
Billy
guys.
Billy Beige. His play, the times that he quit in the playoffs, those were nationally televised games. The times that he passed up shots were nationally televised games. The times he was scared. The time that my man J.J. Barea beat him up in the post, that was a nationally televised game when LeBron couldn't score on a midget. He couldn't score on a midget.
B. Austin, here's what you're missing, right?
You put Wilt over him. B. Austin, you put Wilt on him, right? You put Wilt over him, right? Wilt Chamberlain, how many times did he fail in the finals? How many times did he fail in playoffs in those matchups?
First of all, Hank, I don't acknowledge fully that Wilt is for real.
TV? Wilt got a 100-point game, and nobody really know if it happened or not.
Yo, here's a couple things.
I don't know that Wilt is. I don't know that Wilt really exists, man. I don't really.
They didn't have in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Here's my thing, B. Austin. Right to your point about those games. fact of the matter is, in several years, those game tapes won't exist. Like, they're going to be, like, you know,
like you're gonna get them up out of here.
Remember in your memory. Yeah, they're going to be up out of here, man. I'm not going to lie. That Dallas series is definitely an asterisk on his badge. But look at the Kobe and Phoenix series. Like, I ain't seen that footage in a while. Like, when Kobe was retiring and he was getting the Blumpkin all around the world.
I don't even hear about it.
They didn't bring that up.
Exactly.
I mean, there's really no footage. It's not like he was missing shots. He wasn't taking any.
And what's funny is, like,
Jordan.
It's funny because
like Jordan played. They act like Jordan just started out in the finals, or that he overcame. He played the short one.
I hate that. Michael Jordan is 6-0 when he got to the finals. I'm like, but yeah, he couldn't make the finals every time. Like, so.
Yo, all I gotta say to that,
Jim. Like, that was the day. There was a process. You know what I'm saying? Like, people had to build their way to stuff back then. Like,
so how about LeBron's process? But you don't think LeBron had a process too? His process.
Yeah,
no, but here's my thing.
Like I said, the fact that he made it in 2007, the fact that they made it in 2007, I give him a lot of props for that because they had no business being in the finals in 2007.
But here's my question: Would LeBron's career be better off, right? If he was
LeBron's still going through his process though.
If LeBron was 3-0 in the finals and he didn't make those other 4 times, would he have a better or worse career?
Worse.
Wait, if he didn't make it them other times?
Let's just say he
I think the way fans look at it, it would be much better because he'd be undefeated.
See, I don't, because here's my thing. We talk about how LeBron dominates the East, right?
They're gonna say he choked at one point, Jim. Even if he get to the finals and he'd lose.
Yeah,
at some point, whenever you lose, they're going to call it a choke.
To Toronto or something and didn't make the finals, so he didn't get the loss because he lost in the Eastern Conference. I don't think that. I think that, you know, he would have a worse career. So
I don't know, but the people who want to praise him, first of all, they're not even going to admit that Toronto and the Eastern Conference are as bad as we think it is anyway. I mean, they're already going out of the East. If you listen to pundits lately, people who are caping for LeBron, they're trying to make Golden State a dynasty. Golden State has one championship, and they beat LeBron's team to get it. But they're saying if he beats them, oh, my God, it's undisputed if he beats the Golden State Warriors. Yo, they got one chip. Like somebody saying in the 80s, oh, my God, if they beat the Showtime Lakers, who had 5 in this decade, that proves a point. Like, yo,
yeah, but the difference is, though, Golden State does have one championship, right? And they say that he beat them, and that he's going to do this and the third. What you say?
All right, hold on. But real quick, back to the quitting, though. We can't ignore the fact that Michael Jordan quit twice, man. He quit when he took a retirement twice in his career. We ignore the fact that
Mike quit because he was bored with busting everybody's ass, though.
So Mike quit
after a three-peat, yo. Like, this is
Mike quit because his behavior and trust of Yakubians got his father killed. That's why Mike quit.
Yeah, he was doing things.
And LeBron quit because a ginger killed his mom, literally.
I just think that it's like
peel their cat
honestly
back
I
blue.
think that I just think that it's interesting because, like, you know, I know that there's going to be someone else coming up. I don't know who it is. You know, Shaka Zion. And next thing you know, they're going to talk about how LeBron is overrated. And the thing is, you can find statistics to back up whoever you back, whether it's Mike, whether it's Bron. You know, a shout to Kareem, who's finally getting some love. I see Kareem getting mentioned, and I'm loving it because Kareem never gets mentioned, but he's finally getting shown some love because all of a sudden there's, like, GOAT talks going on.
I think people are forcing it. They're bringing Kareem up because they're upset that people comparing LeBron to Mike. So they're going to bring somebody else up. Like, he ain't even better than Kareem yet. Pity love, man.
My fans might like, the thing is, because, you know, Mike is retired. I want him.
Yo, Mike fans aren't the worst, Jimmy, because there is definitely a man-on-man level of homosexuality with LeBron fans. Like, Bronsexuals have
both though.
something
But
that's
you know why?
unhealthy.
Mike has a lot of fans that they're just like kids on some like nah, like sticking their fingers in their ears and not trying to hear what you're trying to say. They're like, no matter what they see, no matter what happens in the future, nobody's ever going to be better than Mike. That's a childish stance to take, for real. Like, that's a real childish stance to take. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. You know what I mean? But if you already got your mind made up, then what's the point of you even having these conversations if nothing's going to change your mind? Like, somebody could come out with 8 straight chips and, you know, in their first 8 years in the league, if you already got it made up in your mind, you know, nobody's going to be better than Mike, then, you know.
Shout out to Zion.
You know, the logic is already flawed. But.
Like, when you get a history to get so many players.
I don't know what Jimmy's saying.
You.
Florida's 49-0. He's the best boxer ever.
I ate this up.
Yo.
No, it fits at the end. So say that again.
Well, all I was saying, that's just saying Floyd is the best boxer ever. He's 49-0. And there's nothing else to talk about. Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Hank, before we get you out of here, what are your thoughts on the series? Have you picked a winner and an MVP?
I think that Golden State is going to win, but I'm rooting for LeBron to win. Just really, I'm not even a diehard LeBron guy like that, but just off the strength of I didn't like what Kevin Durant did. I think it's corny when you join a 73-win team. So you know, I'm riding with LeBron. So I'm going Cavs and Cavs.
I can respect that.
Cavs and
Okay, that's funny because I'm of the mind state. Like, I'm going to make a pick, but when we just talk about how it could go, how it might go, I think if it's a 6-game series, Golden State will win. But I think if it's a 7-game series, I think the Cavs will win. Now, I'll tell people later which one I think it's going to be. But, yeah.
I mean, we've seen Golden State. We could talk about LeBron choking as much as we want, but we've seen all those guys on Golden State choke last year, and we saw Durant choke to let them into the finals last year, too.
So that's why I think with the players that they have, I think they have to get the series over with early. Because if it goes to a final game, you know.
They got front runners.
They can't see.
All right, fellas. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right.
Good. I'll let you.
I got a couple questions for you, gentlemen, yo.
Mm-hmm.
First thing is this. If Durant loses this series, what does that do to his legacy? Speaking of legacies, because, you like Tank said, you joined a 73-win team.
I think the loss hurts him more than the win helps him. The loss hurts him more than the win helps him.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I don't even have anything profound to say about that. Like, it would be kind of devastating for him to join a 73 team.
I got a better question. What does a loss do to the legacy of Mike Brown?
Mike Brown just
happy to be here.
Legacy. I would say it would like stop him from getting jobs, but nothing has stopped him from getting jobs. You know what I'm saying? Because with Mike Brown, it would be like, damn, you came in, you subbed on a great team who was heavily favored, and you still lost.
I'm almost to the point, Jimmy. I'm almost to the point with Mike Brown. Like, listen, we all acknowledge that he is nowhere near as good a coach as the three of us. But I almost root for him because I laugh. Like, he is comical to me. Like,
you just killed dude without a gun.
Yo, my man's coaching ability is zero, but his interview game is amazing. Yo, he goes in there with a PowerPoint, with a slideshow, with gypsy dancers, with girls that give out twirlies to executive management. Yo, he does the full 9. And then gets in and coaches and doesn't know no plays, no set, just all motivational speech.
Yo,
Mike Brown. He sits there and makes that dumb face with his teeth and then adjusts his glasses. That's his thing.
Yeah, he on the verge of being an NBA championship coach.
Right.
He on the verge of being an NBA championship coach. Like, can he even claim this? If they win, can he claim, like, yo, I coached the champion?
Hey, people were giving Luke Walton all them props last year. So, yo, if he – that's the funny thing. It's not going to go on his resume as his championship, though, even if he wins it. Unless there's some kind of time – unless there's some kind of time period rule, like Kerr's been out a certain amount of time. But I don't know.
Yo,
but look,
all I know is we got two black men coaching the NBA Finals.
Right. And this is the first time it's been done since – actually, it's only been done one time in history. Jim wasn't on with us last week. That was our stat of the week last week. 1975, Golden State, Al Attles versus Casey Jones is the only time in NBA history that two black men were coaching. Right. All right, so look, it's finals time, and this is Final Central. We're just going to table the finals for a few minutes so we can let you guys know what else happened in the world of sports this week. We'll get back to the NBA finals and just, you know, all the topics that we had that we haven't gotten to yet. We'll finish those out towards the end of the show. But for now, you guys can check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, make sure you take your time, look around, click on the Contact Us tab to send a message about the company, the show, to inquire about sponsorship, advertising, joining the network, or any other business you may have at War Room Sports. For general inquiries, email us, info@warroomsports.com. While you're browsing the site, make sure you click on the memorabilia tab. Buy some of that small baller brand, as Jimmy calls it, that War Room Sports merchandise. Click the blog tab, read our latest articles in All's Fair in Sports and More blog. And as a matter of fact, man, now that we speak of that, all the conversations we have of people defending LeVar Ball and about to support him on his, you know, $50 T-shirts, $60 caps, and $500 shoes. You know, I haven't seen any sales in the War Room Sports merchandise market recently. So
we're not famous enough.
What up with that? We got to start cooning and being loud and all that kind of stuff. I can do that. Yo, my son,
start disrespecting your kids.
He's 5 years old, and he's already better than Steph. Come on, somebody quote that. Somebody put that out there. Make that go viral. All right, so y'all can click the blog tab to read our latest articles in the All Fair in Sports and More blog. Then click the respective icons and tabs to like all of our social media pages. Follow us on social media. Subscribe to our iTunes podcast. Watch our webcast at War Room Sports TV. And you can download our free War Room Sports mobile app on Android and iOS to get everything I just mentioned on the go. Join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room to enter the chat room. Just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You can sign up to your Facebook and Twitter account. While you're at it, click follow. That'll get you updates and reminders about the show. We're going to continue to take questions and read posts from Facebook, Twitter, and the chat room during the show. But if you want to call in and speak with us, that Digital Extreme Technologies hotline number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. We're going to get right into what happened this week while you good people were on the grind. A lot happened. A lot of famous names in the news. And While You're on the Grind is brought to you by DirecTV. If you'd like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, including that NFL Sunday ticket, which would make you a superstar in your neighborhood in a few months, go to our website, warroomsports.com, click on the DirecTV logo, order yourself a better TV experience at a discounted War Room Sports sign-up rate. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to have DirecTV. All right. We talked, well, this was mentioned a little bit. We said we're going to get to it later. LeBron's Los Angeles area home was vandalized with a racial slur. Somebody wrote nigger on the side of his house. So, you know, as LeBron put it yesterday in his press conference, you know, we're on the verge, basically, of one of our greatest sporting events. And, you know, I have to sit here and talk about being black in America and racism and all that kind of stuff. You know, in a nutshell, he wrapped it up saying, no matter how rich you are, you know, no matter how famous you are, being black in America is tough. What do you guys think about this whole situation?
Just a testament to the history, legacy, and moral fibers of this country. You know, that expression that someone cowardice, that manifestation of cowardice, that is a testament to who and what America is. Not in totality, because of course there are some positives, there are some beautiful things here, but in 2017, with the just recently won election and all that's going on, it just lets us know where we are socially and what's going on. And salute to LeBron, although this was an easy opportunity for him to speak up socially. Salute to him for taking it on and being willing to say what needed to be said with regards to that. So, salute to him. We had some members of our War Room Sports social media family who had it of this, and they felt as if it was some left-wing ploy to start a race riot, and that obviously they're tired of hearing about the black struggle and black plight in America, and that LeBron should do more in the community, and he's rich, so what does he know? It was probably another black person that scribbled this on his property. We heard all types of things on social media. And I think we know where that comes from and where that mind frame and mentality comes from. But, salute to him for being willing to at least use his platform to acknowledge where society is and continue to stand up and make commentary. I often, when celebs and athletes are in this position, I often go back to something that you said, Devin, a while ago. Unless somebody is putting something at risk or making a sacrifice, their activism, it's questionable how impactful it is and how sincere and meaningful it will be. But in this case, since it happened directly to him, I like the fact that he took the time to speak on it.
Yeah, because he could have gave us a no comment. I don't want to talk about that. Blah blah blah. Could have gave us a Cam Newton. What would Cam have said had somebody spray painted nigger on his front gate?
They just misspelled the word they were trying to spell. It wasn't really nigger.
Because racism doesn't.
These 8 inches of skin are not gonna make me with whatever kind of nonsense he spewed. Pause on that too, Cam. It's crazy, man. Like
Cam Newton and Jason Whitlock would say, "Man, if we bleach our skin, we're all white."
No, it's crazy to but it's not surprising though. Like I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often, or does it happen more often? We just don't hear about it. But the fact of the matter is, this is also something that like he has to deal with answering these questions. When you look at players back in the day, this was like part of what they had to deal with. So we talk about the social media era and what he has to deal with. But just to, the flip side of that is other players have to deal with stuff like this and much worse on an everyday basis. So I talk about him having to put up with like hecklers and trolls. Old-time players had to ride the bus from state to state, not knowing where they were going to spend their time at. Like, I just finished reading Oscar Robertson's book, and he talks about times like where he's going to play against a team and he can't even stay in certain hotels. They really try to break the team up.
Damn all that. Old time players, they hooped in Chucks. Have either of you tried to play in Chuck Taylor?
I tried it one time, and the reason I never tried it again is because and this is a young man. The only response I have is yo.
You had to soak your feet in Epsom salt after the game.
I had to go for surgery.
Yeah, I don't know how we'll put up all the buckets and chucks.
Yeah, Wilt was drawn. All right, so Tiger Woods, the cannibalization or whatever he calls himself, he was arrested on a DUI charge in Florida. He did tell the police officers when they made the stop, when they found him basically sleeping in his car, that he wasn't drinking. but he had taken some prescription medicine. I think earlier in the week, I heard a lot of people who really didn't believe Tiger in that situation, and then the report came out that he actually blew a 0.0 in the breathalyzer. But at the same time, when you're taking prescription drugs, it clearly states usually on the side of the bottle or in the instructions not to operate a motor vehicle when you're doing that. So does it take any of the cachet away from the crime, the quote-unquote crime, because he wasn't actually drinking, or is it just as irresponsible to be on prescription drugs and then try to drive your car? By the way, he was not driving.
It's funny that you
FOH Tiger. You don't drive.
It's funny that you say it that way, Dev, because it's been beat into our heads as a society that alcohol is the thing that you must avoid when operating heavy machinery or driving a vehicle. So the fact that
get on like some muscle relaxers and go take a drive. Come on, Tiger. You don't.
The fact that he wasn't drinking and blew the 0.00, I think the large majority of people are going to let him off of the hook, outside of the Meme Tan clan, who's going to meme him to death, of which Jimmy and I are a part. Outside of that, I don't think that he's going to get as impactful a thrashing in public opinion as he would if it was liquor or alcohol. When in fact, as you said, if you're taking Molly's, Percocets, any of that stuff, you need to stay out from behind the wheel for fear that you can kill someone. Just the same.
We need to cut it. Yo, shout out to Tiger for providing us with one of the greatest, memes ever. Because when I first saw it, I was like, yo, Tiger is lit. I don't know what he's on, but he on something. So salute to him for setting us up with that meme.
Oh, my bad.
I'm on everything. I'm on everything. Listen up. Here's the question, though. The question I have, which I haven't been able to find an answer to, is was Tiger driving a Buick? That's what I need to know.
He was driving a Benz.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, all right. So he's a sellout right there. Because you want to push Buicks in the hospital, Paul, but you can't even be driving a Buick, though.
Right. Former NBA player.
Breaking news.
Ben Gordon was arrested in Los Angeles this morning. There are no reports on what he actually did, but they said he was set free on $5,000 bail this afternoon. TMZ, who is a very trusted news source, reported that LA police and firefighters responded to his apartment complex after he allegedly pulled several fire alarms. So I don't know. Maybe he was trying not to get beat up by somebody, and he was trying to sound the alarms, and just took it the wrong way. I don't know.
You think
he was on that? He was on that Tiger.
He was on that Tiger Woods, y'all. Well, speaking of drugs, I'm not saying Floyd is on drugs. Floyd Mayweather, he actually in an interview took a few jabs, pun intended, at hip hop right now or rap music right now. He accuses the industry of making it cool to be drug addicts. Now, we talked about this before. Like, in the 90s, everyone was a drug dealer. Now, most of the popular people are in their music, they're on drugs. And they're bragging about being basically addicts. So does Floyd make a point here? He said, now it's okay to be a junkie.
These little kids is on everything, sir. Painkiller, cigarette, weed, Hennessy, vodka.
Come on. He said, now it's okay to be a junkie. This is crazy that it's okay to OD on drugs. It's okay to take any drugs now. It's okay to be a junkie. He said that already, Floyd. He said, when you go back and really listen to legendary rappers, this is timeless music. Guys like Biggie, guys like Pop, timeless music. All right. I mean, I don't know what that part had to do with anything, but I mean, it's true. But damn, when I read this, if I wasn't surprised that Floyd Mayweather sounded like he was saying something semi-responsible, unselfish, and halfway profound, I was surprised just the fact that he was even speaking on it. Because I mean, I don't know if I want to call it a problem, because content in hip hop, if you're gonna make this a problem, then content has always been a problem. Because like we said, in the 90s, everybody wanted to do drugs and kill people.
Bragging about selling poison to your people is not as destructive as bragging about taking it. Huh?
Right.
You're okay with us being on the other side, telling our woolly tales and lies about how we like destroy communities by pushing poison. The fact of the matter is, man, a lot of stuff they made
like Big wasn't, Big didn't give a if you're pregnant.
Shout out and salute to Pusha T.
Yo, my man said, "Yo, give me the baby ring and the #1 mom pendant." Like, come on, man, like
stealing from people, selling drugs to people, shooting people. But I'm not saying it's not a problem for these dudes to be on drugs. I think it's it is weird, but if you're gonna complain about that, you can't complain about that and then brag about rappers from yesteryear in the same breath. When those guys were in their primes in an era where we were spreading the poison.
They were the guys selling the drugs to these new generation's moms. Like
that made them that made them dependent.
They're the reason so they're the reason we got this rap. So essentially they're the reason we had this rap, right? All right. Yo, I was thinking about this, right? Because I love 90s hip hop more than most, and but I was thinking about it, like a lot of the music we like is destructive. Like Mobb Deep's music is completely destructive, and I love every bit of it. But pound for pound, the hardest song ever written was like Dear Mama. Like I was listening to that, I was like, yo, I'm not the biggest Pac fan. Y'all know I be slandering Pac, but that's the hardest song ever written, yo. My man said, even though you was a dope fiend, mama. I'm like, yo.
I'm like, yo, you gonna put that on wax and then come home and see your mom?
He said, yo, you still a black queen, mama. Like, that's the hardest line in the history of hip hop. that might be the hardest line.
I just want to know how.
You kept it so real.
How'd he play that CD for his mom? Like, damn.
Yo, he kept it so real. That's the hardest song ever written, yo. That's harder than anything NWA said, yo.
Even though he was a dope feed mama.
You always was the black queen, mama.
Yo, black queen,
I don't care how Jimmy is celebrating, dude. Yo, dude's bars was weak.
Yo, but that was that's the hardest line in hip hop history, though, right there.
Yo.
It ain't all metaphor it up.
Yo.
For no reason. It don't even mean the same thing. But like in situations where Jimmy will say like guns and butter, I'm gonna just say dope fiends and black queen.
Dope fiends and black queen. That's the hardest. Hashtag dope fiends and black queen, yo. That's the hardest bar ever, yo.
Yo, everybody go put it. Both of y'all go put it on your Facebook right now. Hashtag
dope fiends. Hashtag dope fiends and black queens. I love them all, yo.
And black queens. All right.
Yo, shout out to all the dope fiends out there anyway, man. Because I miss a lot of dope fiends, man.
Mama.
I miss all the dope fiends, man. I used to be able to get stuff done for cheap, man. Ain't no more dope fiends left.
I know. Yeah, dope fiends.
Nah, the dope fiends are here. They're just out
in the suburbs.
I got
the problem.
Shout out to the homie Hub. I got my first light on dope fiends and black queens.
Yo, be awesome. Here's the thing, right? With the people that use like prescription drugs, because they're using prescription drugs, they think they're not dope fiends, so they think they're better than someone like. Black fiends knew they knew they was at the bottom of the totem pole, so they was willing to like pick up trash.
Fiends they was out there sucking.
They knew what it was, yo. Shout out to my OG Gary Ray. He said, take out my trash and sweep up for me. Anyway, but hashtag bring back the dope fiends.
Trying to sell you some double cheeseburgers for a hit.
I gotta put my hashtag up, man.
Different. They used to be out there just doing
dope fiends and black queens.
Horrible thing. Yeah, dope fiends and black queens, mama.
Miss
All right,
Cat,
so last
come
story
to the block
while
and
y'all on
saying,
the grind.
if you give me two, I'm gonna bring someone else that's gonna cop. So you might get. Never mind. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, last story while y'all on the grind, because we got to get back to, the finals at some point before the show's over. Big Baller. They got a Big Baller brand has an AAU team coached by none other than LeVar Ball. They took a 52-point L to the Compton Magic this weekend in an AAU tournament, and some video footage came out of him motivating his team, and a lot of people didn't like what they heard from him. Y'all have any quick thoughts on this?
It is definitely over the course of the last 5 years, it's been the era of the waffle-colored brother in basketball. And, you know, salute to some of those brothers because they have done some amazing things bringing back, you know, and bringing back the G-Money era and New Jack Swing into modern-day basketball. But I think Big Baller got ahead of themselves when they went into the jungle and tried to play against some real live, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, they wasn't built for that. And Compton Magic is known nationally for laying their schlong and mushroom heads on teams.
But and that's why I didn't nitpick it, B, because Compton Magic gives out beatdowns like that to, you know, a lot of people. I think people, because I know you had a stat up about it and people were coming on, I think people are getting a little nitpicky. Like, I'm the last person to want to defend the shenanigans of LeVar Ball, but, you know, people were saying his motivation tactics are, you know,
but here's
people don't respond to that. Like, I don't understand that way of thinking because
but here's my
this dude has three NBA prospects that he raised up and coached up. So let's not question his motivation tactics because it seems like he's doing a pretty good job of it in his own household. So
here's my thing, though, Dev. Are people as nitpicky if not for his antics in the past? Like,
no, they're not. But everything he does now, if you're on that side and you can't be objective, like, because a lot of people, once you're on that side, you're on that side. Like, I'm not even
he said it.
I'm gonna speak for, you know,
he set himself up for this.
Jimmy, even B. Like, we've criticized him, but there's certain moments and certain things where we've defended the dude on certain things. But some people, once they get on one side, that's just it. You know. Shout out to the homie Casey Mack on the positive side, and shout out to some people that's on the negative side that everything's going to be negative.
Shout out to DJ Willie G, the War Room Sports DJ, on the ones and twos, because he is definitely on the positive side. He don't care if Lonzo. He don't care if LeVar Ball pees on his son. He's gonna say that's motivation.
No. Shout out to our brother Casey Mack. Casey Mack is nothing but love, but you worse than DJ Willie G. LeVar Ball can pee on you and you'll make an excuse. But
I guarantee you, when we talked about them losing by 50, Casey Mack, they had to have some NBA ringers on that team.
Here's my thing though, because even with that Compton squad, like, they smack a lot of people by 50, but when they smack them by 50, are they pushing them for no reason? Are they like trying to throw cats out of bed? They was doing a lot too, like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're definitely right, Jimmy.
That's
they
the
took
stuff
it
that we've been trying to tell people when they're saying that LeVar Ball's antics isn't doing anything negative to his sons. This is what I'm talking about. First of all, the reason that people make videos that go viral of LaMelo Ball stinking it up and shooting bad shots and shooting behind the backboard and the ball getting stuck between the rim and the backboard, you make those kind of videos because LeVar Ball has made you feel some type of way about his son. He's put a target on their back. It's going to be the same thing for Lonzo once he gets into the NBA. Everybody he plays against is going to try to wear his ass out, and all the fans are going to try to have the greatest laugh of their life anytime he makes a mistake.
I'll tell you one thing. It's going to make for some great social media.
His first game, like a little girl.
His first game is going to make for some great social media because, especially if he goes to the Lakers, wherever he goes, they're going to nationally televise it. It's going to be drawn. It's going to lead SportsCenter because whether he does great or he stinks it up, like, the talk's going to be there. He's going to be the talk of the town regardless of what he does.
Lonzo watch.
Yeah, I mean, them Zo2's going to be out there. Let's see what they do.
Yo,
shout out to them for having their own sneakers. Nobody wearing them.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because in that game, them dudes were like, yo, everybody, whoever D's him up, yo, just treat him like a woman, man. Just push him around.
Yo, and they were overdoing it too, though. They were overdoing it. Like it was dead balls, and they was walking back to the bench, and they just like shoving for no reason.
And then while everybody was partying at the expense of LaMelo having a bad game, you know, a lot of people failed to mention that in another game that same day, he put up 50 himself. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. When you're playing against the Monstars and you're the only talented person on the team, that kind of thing happens. Shout out to LeVar for having them fire slides on, though. Them slides was fire, although he ruined them by not wearing socks. Yeah. He was coaching with slides on. But my man was coaching with slides on. That's fire. Yo, you gotta wear socks with your slides unless you're in the Caribbean, like it's somewhere where it's like extremely drawn. And I guess you could say he's in California, but he's inside though. So you can't do that, dude. Come on, dude. You're coaching. And you're coaching the game. My man had on cargo shorts and slides. Why your feet showing while you're coaching the game? Like I would expect if any of my
I need you to box out. Like I need you to put socks on.
Yeah, why are your feet showing, Mr. Mott? Come on, guys. Like, great. Put your feet away. Like that would be real awkward. He was way too comfortable on the side, man.
Lonzo don't respect none of y'all.
Wow, you good people were on the
LeVar, rather.
Let's get some quick birthday shout outs and we'll go back into the NBA Finals talk to end the show. Jen, you want to give some birthday shout outs real quick, or you want me to just do it?
No, you got it, good brother. Take the hangout. You got it, good brother.
All right, so birthdays, of course, are brought to you by Digital Extreme Technology. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, you need Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. Top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. Financing options are also available, so visit digitalextremetech.com and put something on it, or you can call 267-205-4203, and for discounted rates, just let them know that the homies from over at War Room Sports sent you.
Birthday, yay!
All right, so shout out to Nick Young, a.k.a. Swaggy P. He turns 32 today. Wow, Nick Young is a bona fide NBA veteran now. Like, he should, people got to look up to Nick Young when they get on the basketball team. That's scary. Wow. But shout out to Swaggy. Santana Moss, former Shrimp wide receiver for the Washington professional football team. I think Santana Moss carved out a pretty good career. Nothing special, but he had some moments. He had some big moments in his career. He turns 38.
I think you can take the pretty off of that and just say good. He had a good career.
Yeah. Shout out to Shane Matthews, former NFL quarterback. He turns 47. Larry Centers, former running back for the Arizona Cardinals, is 49 years old. Has it been that long since Larry Centers was on the football field? He's 49?
Yo.
Wow.
I remember Larry Centers. Man, never mind. I ain't going to even say my Larry Centers memory, but that is crazy that he's 49. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And finally, happy birthday shout out to former Tampa Bay Buccaneers coach Greg Schiano. He turns 51. That's funny. His tenure didn't last too long down there. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys remember, but when I was down there covering Tampa Bay game, I actually wrote an article about him and just all the venom and vitriol that was being spit at that dude while I was in town. And I just didn't know what their expectations of him were at that particular point since he was a new head coach. But the stadium was littered with fire Schiano and saying all kinds of other stuff about Schiano that I can't say on the radio. But shout out to him on his 51st birthday. He's been a man for about 11 years. So we like to give a nice big War Room salute to all of these folks on their B-Days.
My birthday, yay!
Now, we're going to get back into some hot topics. But before we do, y'all guys, you know the deal. You can check out our website, warroomsports.com. If you want to call in and speak with us about the NBA Finals and give your picks, You can do that now. The Digital Extreme Tech hotline is open, 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. And those hot topics are brought to you by Audible. If your schedule is too hectic to read as much as you want, just try audiobooks. Kick back. Let someone else do the reading for you. All you got to do is sign up for Audible. Just visit Audible, sign up for your free trial, audibletrial.com/RollRoomSports. In no time, you can be listening to the latest bestsellers, hands-free, stress-free, while getting other things done at the very same time. And shout out to my partner, Jim, the Blueprint. You know, I saw the other day that you're up to, 19 out of your 52-week a book a week book challenge that you do every year for yourself.
Damn!
You already cleared out 19 books. That's commendable, because I definitely don't read.
Reading is fundamental.
Or listen as much as I can. All right, so just a quick shout out. You know, we don't really talk much hockey here in the War Room unless we have a hockey expert on. So maybe we got to do that. We got to get Puck Daddy back in the building. Shout out to Greg Wyshynski. Probably said his name wrong, but my bad. Or the homie from the Bergen Record up in Rangertown. The Penguins trying to go back-to-back with theirs. They're trying to go Drake with it. They lead the Predators 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals. I know a lot of Penguins fans being, living in the region that I'm from, a lot of course, I'm in the Washington area, so there's a lot of Capitals fans, but there's a lot of Penguins fans as well, transplants from Pittsburgh and whatnot. And it's just funny to see throughout the whole playoffs how nervous they get, but their team keeps matriculating through the playoffs. It's like sometimes as a fan of certain sports, you just, you wish that you were in their spot. Like, man, they're nervous every night. But here we are, 2 years in a row. Your team is in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they're two wins away from repeating. So shout out to the Penguins. Bryce Harper, your favorite baseball player. He was suspended 4 games for rushing the mound when he was beamed in his hip with a fastball from the Giants' Hunter Strickland, who ended up getting 6 games for it. Well, actually, he got his punishment reduced down to 3 games. So Bryce Harper will only serve a 3-game suspension for the melee that broke out earlier in the week. I wanted to ask Jimmy about this, but he had to step away. But you know how Jimmy, he always talks about the unwritten rules in baseball, when somebody's hit, retaliation, like they police themselves. So they have these beanball wars where you're hitting people with 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. Like, I think at some point, I don't know if you legislate it out of the game, but at some point you have to buck tradition, because it's just weird to me at times where folks feel that they have to do something. And this was kind of unprompted unless you go all the way back to like the 2014 playoffs, where Bryce Harper hit 2 monster home runs off of Hunter Strickland. And at the time, Hunter Strickland felt that Bryce Harper ran around the bases too slow. So, pitchers always have this thing about getting shown up on a home run. So they remember you. Like, if they don't face you for another 2 years, they're still going to throw at you 2 years later and cause this kind of melee. The big story in the whole Bumblebee was that Giants catcher Buster Posey. Catchers, when they see their pitcher getting rushed, they usually run out there, help him, tackle the dude, grab the dude, punch the dude, do whatever. Buster Posey just stood there and just let it go. So I'm wondering if that tells us anything about Buster Posey, or does it tell us about Hunter Strickland? Because maybe his standing in that locker room isn't one where people are gung-ho about protecting him, and maybe they thought the act in itself was a little bit Bush League. What do you think about these unwritten rules of them policing themselves and retaliation by throwing balls at people? Like, what's the deal, man?
It tells us a few things. First, I'll start with the dugout in the clubhouse. Buster Posey, you're a little beat because you're supposed to help your teammate no matter what. Hunter Strickland, they don't respect you. Buster doesn't respect you. And Buster wasn't cool with what you did because I would say 7 chances out of 10, Hunter communicated what he was going to do with whatever their hand signals are to Buster. So I would like to think that he knew it was coming, and he probably didn't agree with it, and it happened anyway. Now, as far as the unwritten rules and, Bryce, my young boy Bryce showing you up, I look at that as, and you and I, we've had experience coaching and we've coached together. Like, unfortunately, we've never been on the other end of a blowout, but I'm not the type of guy where I'm going to tell my team to run the score up on. Right. Like, because I don't believe that type of stuff breeds good character or teaches you how to be a better player. So from a teaching perspective, I pull back. But there's a certain part of me that also feels like if that's someone else's thing, like, don't get shown up. Like, if you pitch to me and I go yard on you, if I choose to bring a wheelchair out and wheel myself around the bases, that's on you. Don't put the ball in the strike zone where I can knock the skin off of it. That's like, you can't beam me or throw the ball back at me because I hit a homer on you and decided to celebrate with the fans at my accomplishment. Like, you're corny. If that was the reason, then I think Strickland was super corny for doing that.
Right.
Everybody
culture,
knows.
Man. It's a weird culture, and they just cannot buck tradition for some reason.
I ain't no baseball guy. I'm not a baseball fan, but everybody knows I do have a few players. I still bring up Manny Ramirez as if he's not retired because I probably don't know that he's retired. Bryce Harper is another one of my guys because I was actually present for a grand slam homer that closed out a game. I was in Nats Park in the box, small balling, not big balling, but small balling, and I saw him. So since then, as a guy that doesn't really know baseball but loves the action, Bryce has been my guy. Mike Trout, he's another one, but I'm not really cool with that retaliatory approach from a pitcher. If someone decides to run the score up on you, play better defense. Have some pride. Like throwing at somebody or beaming them to me is being a poor sport. That's poor sportsmanship. You can't take it. Like, that's cool.
Baseball been poor sports since the late 1800s, man. Tradition, unwritten rules. All right. So Strickland, he's going to serve his 6 games. Besides his actual
have you ever been hit by a baseball? You ever been hit by a baseball? Them shits hurt.
Not the way that these guys are throwing them, but yeah. So that has to be difficult to take that and still be able to play. Last thing before we get back to the finals, Dana White had some choice words for Oscar De La Hoya because Oscar has been criticizing the potential bout between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. He's basically saying it's a clown show and it's not good for the sport. There's no way that Conor McGregor should be in the ring with a seasoned boxer like that in his arena. So Dana White posted a video on social media on Wednesday which combined the 2 interviews that De La Hoya gave where he was criticizing it. The video had a caption on it that read WTF with a bunch of question marks. It's De La Hoya has been basically saying that the fight is disrespect to boxing. And I think on some levels I kind of agree, because we've gone through this thing in the past decade where a lot of people, especially MMA fans, would go out and say boxing is dead. But boxing, I guess, is in the same type of shape, or has been in the same type of shape as like hip hop. Like there's always quality out there, but you're not looking for those. Like people are just looking for the big money fights, and a lot of those never live up to the hype. But if you look at, just an average HBO fight, hell, an average free fight at ESPN or just something on a Friday night, like, it's really, really entertaining. But people aren't checking for anything except for the big names. And when those big name fights build up for 6 months and they end up being duds, people think that boxing overall is in a bad state, which is not really true.
That's an absolutely impeccable analogy. That's a great analogy. Here's the thing. Dana White and a lot of other people, a lot of pundits, are pointing at the fact that Oscar De La Hoya is essentially hating. I actually believe that both parties in this have merit, and both parties are right. So when you look at the larger picture of what Oscar is saying, I absolutely agree with him 100%. Conor McGregor doesn't deserve to be in a ring from a merit standpoint.
Right. How has he earned this? How has he earned this?
And if Floyd Mayweather respected boxing as he should, he wouldn't even take the fight. Right. He wouldn't even take the fight because in both of their respective sports, they are king. If Floyd got into the octagon with Conor McGregor, Floyd would get his life pounded away. Bottom line, like unless he caught him and Conor tried to strike with him, Floyd would have a chance, but Conor wouldn't do that. He would take things to the ground, and Floyd is in a ground fight. It would get ugly. But that's the same thing that should happen in a boxing ring. Because Conor McGregor is known to have a good, what they call stand-up game or strike game in the octagon, people are trying to translate that to boxing. Being able to strike in the octagon is light years away from – it's like saying because – to a lesser degree, it's like saying because I'm nice on the playground in my neighborhood, I can play in the NBA. Like, this really is disrespectful to the sport. I agree with that 100% with all stakeholders involved. Now, where Dana White has merit and pundits have merit in criticizing Oscar is because I do believe Oscar harbors some resentment to both parties involved. He and Floyd have historically had bad blood since before they fought. So there's bad blood there. So there's a little bit – the intentions and the motivations behind the criticism stem from him disliking Floyd Mayweather and from him taking issue with, them putting on the biggest – what will end up being one of the biggest pay-per-view events ever, and it's fluff. It's bullcrap. But Oscar, if you look at Golden Boy Productions and some of the fights that they have put on, they've been a part of the problem. They've promoted things that were subpar. So don't point and criticize now when you've been a part of the problem. Like, that's the pot calling the kettle black. So, that's, I think,
but
also
did they know that these
issue.
things were going to be subpar until they happened? Like, they'll put two fighters together and know that one of them wasn't going to show up that night.
I like to think that the people at Golden Boy, Oscar all the way down, have an accomplished eye when it comes to looking at fights and fighters, and they have a fairly good idea when it's going to be a quality matchup versus not quality but still sell out. I think they know. I'm not going to give them the benefit. I think they've been a part of the problem, and I think that while he's telling 100% truth, I think his motivation and his intentions behind coming forward with those thoughts and that truth aren't all for the best interest of the sport or the best interest of the fan. I think there's other motivations behind Oscar saying what he's saying.
All right. We'll see if this fight ever sees the light of day. We hear something new every week.
Connor's going to get washed.
Oh, yeah. So, the Cavaliers in this NBA Finals are playing the underdog status. And, you have cats like Kevin Love basically saying, a lot of people aren't giving them a chance, but he said the whole underdog thing is funny to me because, at the end of the day, we're defending our title. We're trying to repeat, which is so hard to do. So I think we'll use it as fuel and motivation. He said, but it's tough for him to do because he doesn't think that they're underdogs. Whereas on the other hand, the coach of the other team, Steve Kerr, also says that he can't believe that Golden State is favored in this series. What say you, the whole underdog versus favorites role in this series?
I think that the Cavs are rightfully the underdog because I think people are looking at the starting lineups, or particularly not even the starting lineups. People are looking at the star power. Cavaliers have the best player in the world. They've got one of the best finishers in the world and scorers in Kyrie, and they've got, to a basketball eye, which we have, we understand that Kevin Love is not a great player, but he's a very, very good cusp all-star player. So you can look at it from that vantage point and say, well, how could they be the underdog? When you dig deeper into that roster and assuming that, the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th man are going to get clocked, maybe even the 10th man, and you match that up to Golden State has starter quality 1 through 12. There's 15 men on a roster. There's 12 guys that I say in today's NBA anywhere from all-star to serviceable starter.
But
so if you
okay.
assume that the starting
So being the favorites, okay, that's one thing. But being overwhelming favorites to a team that beat you, to the defending champs, I think there's a problem there. But with Kevin Love, it's probably not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think there's an agenda to the Warriors being the overwhelming favorite because people are already setting this up as if LeBron James beats this team, oh my God, it's undisputed. There's no more rap, blah, 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 which I don't understand. Like they're saying if LeBron climbs to 4-4 in the finals and beats a team that has only won one championship, 2 in their whole existence, 40 years apart, I don't understand how that is what places him, head and shoulders above anybody else who's ever played the game. So I think there's a little bit of an agenda.
I'll tell you, there absolutely is an agenda. There's no more organic competitive greatness for people to invest their emotions in, so it has to be created.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to the phone line. Let's take one last call. We got the homie Tobias on. We're going to get him on real quick before we get out of here, before we start making our predictions and stuff. So after he tells us what it is he wants to tell us, we'll get his prediction before we get him off the line. Tobias, what's going on, good brother? You in the war room?
Man, what's going on, good fellas?
Nothing much.
What's good, Tobias?
What's good? Hey, I would tell LeBron right now I need all the facts before I jump on about this house being vandalized. Rest in peace, Tamir Rice. But here's the thing.
Shots fired.
but here's the thing, though. I watched this series, right? B. Alton's right. It is not organic. They trying to say, well, LeBron does this, does that. My thing has always been, this is what people are missing. A couple quick things. He has to play defense now. There's no Harrison Barnes breaking wide open shots. And Lord knows how he still got the maxes beyond me. Steph Curry has something to prove this series. And I'm telling you, because people kept saying he's nothing, he's not showing up, Kyrie passed him up, and I believe that's something there. But here's the other thing. Kevin Love has done nothing in the finals against Draymond Green. He has never done anything against Draymond Green. What is he going to do this year? Nobody's saying that. Everybody keeps looking at LeBron, but LeBron has to play defense now, and he won't be able to score as easily because they have defenders in Golden State. They have people who can protect the rim, and they have people who won't kiss his ring like the most of the Eastern Conference.
Right.
To your point, Tobias, I think that two of the most important players in this are Zaza Pachulia and JaVale McGee. I think those two guys will play a big role in this because they're going to meet LeBron at the rim. And what happens happens.
Go ahead. Are those your X Factor guys on that side?
Yeah, definitely.
And you know what? And I know you guys got to go. I'll say this. I really believe it's going to be 4-1 Golden State because people don't realize that team is T.O. LeBron been trolling them all season, all year with the 3-1 cookies, the band, the Ultimate Warrior shirt, all that. They heard that. They heard we blew a 3-1 lead. So I think it'll be 4-2. But I think Golden State's going to win. But, hey, I know you guys got to go.
Who's your MVP?
Me in, man.
Who's the MVP?
Hey, I hope it's Durant to troll everybody, but I think they're going to give it to Steph, man.
Okay. All right. Well, good looking out. Call us back next week, and we'll see where the series is at that point. All right, Tobias.
All right, no problem. Roll damn Tide. Peace.
All right.
No doubt.
All right. So X Factor, I agree with you. I think those bigs on the Warrior side are going to have to play not a shocking or surprising, but they're going to have to play a little bit more of a role than we probably are used to them playing because the X Factor on the other side, I think this is pretty obvious because he's always kind of like their X Factor. Tristan Thompson, even though I still, offensively, I think he's a bum. It's going to be Pachulia and McGee's job to try to keep this dude off the boards because, if Tristan Thompson can do something, he can rebound his ass off and change tempo, change momentum. He can get a big rebound that will kind of, just kind of put a damper on the what the other team is trying to do. Like they could play great defense for a sequence and get a big stop, and then the ball comes off the rim, and this dude comes out of nowhere pushing people and not getting called for it, grabbing the offensive rebound. So, yeah, those bigs that you named as X Factors on the other side is going to have to keep their X Factor under control on these boards, or it could get very, very, very interesting. How important is it to you, B, that Steve Kerr, for at least right now, is still not going to be on the sideline? Like, a lot of people think, okay, this team is so good, they're so well prepared, it really doesn't matter. Do you think it matters?
I think it matters. I think that is something that bodes well for Cleveland. I think that if they execute and they don't run into adversity, in other words, the larger the lead in the second half of the fourth quarter, the less important it is to have Steve Kerr around.
Right.
If the game is close,
if you get, so you're basically saying if you get into situational coaching, then that's not Mike Brown's strong
suit. Mike Brown has the IQ of an amoeba offensively when it comes to situational coaching. He's not, defensively, he's a little better. But,
so basically, if he has a big enough lead where he can just sit over there, show his teeth, and adjust his glasses, they'll be okay. But if he has to actually make some tough decisions at a tough time, that could pretty much bode negatively for Golden State.
Let me ask you a question. In terms of protecting the rim and rebounding, we know Tristan Thompson is definitely very, very. It's not very good. It's not great at it. At least rebounding, not shot block, but rebounding.
Bummed you.
Cleveland's other rebounders are who? LeBron and Kevin Love. Those are the guys that you would say. That three are going to handle. Who would you say?
It's like Cleveland should slaughter them on the boards. They should. When you name their top three guys, they should slaughter them on the boards. But you say, who would I say what?
Yeah, I would say that onslaught could be a little less than what it looks like on paper, because I think Draymond hits the boards hard. Mm-hmm. I think Durant can, if coached up, hit the boards hard. And then JaVale McGee is an underrated rebounder. JaVale's an underrated rebounder.
Is JaVale going to get the minutes? Like, he may go in there and do well per minute, but is he going to get the minutes to where his rebounds really make a difference in the series? And he might. You know, I'm not saying, because I'm not – I don't know what their rotations will be. Cleveland is – I mean, they've played some bigger teams in the Western Conference, so they should be ready for this kind of a challenge. But at the same time, you don't know what the rotations are going to be. I'm sure Steve Kerr is not just letting dude go willy-nilly. I'm sure he's telling him what to do. But like we said, when it comes down to situations, that's where the difference comes in, because he's not there unless he's going to be texting him on the sideline. Yeah. But it should be very.
How is Zaza as a rebounder? I don't really pay attention.
I don't like. I wouldn't like if I'm naming rebounders. Yeah, like he's not a standout.
All right, that says enough.
Rebound guy.
He's
let me check his average.
7 foot. He's 7 foot plus, and you had to think. Look, he's 7 foot plus, and you had to think about it. All right, he's not a factor. Okay.
I mean, but then again, it's like he's playing 18 minutes a game, and he is getting 5.9 rebounds. This isn't a regular season for them. 5.9 rebounds in 18 minutes. So his per 36 is about 11.6 rebounds. So he's a pretty good rebounder, but his is not a name that I'm going to think about when you're like, all right, name some great rebounders in the league right now. Name some really good rebounders in the league. I'm not going to think Jaja, but it might be because nowhere Jaja plays, does Jaja get a lot of minutes, enough minutes to actually make a difference on the boards. Now, last season with Dallas, he averaged 26.5 minutes a game, and he did average 9.4 rebounds. So I guess given the minutes, he looked like, he could pretty much do some work. So that'll help. And against a Tristan and a Kevin Love, he might just get more minutes to try to even up the boards.
People haven't been talking about Klay Thompson stinking it up.
Hold up, and we can't. We drawn because we got like a minute, and we haven't even made our predictions yet. Let me go ahead and tell, because Jimmy had to roll out, but he left his. He said Warriors in 5. Steph Curry is going to be your MVP. What say you, Bielsa?
Warriors come out and play. Warriors in 6. Draymond, Big Weldon is my MVP.
Yeah, well, people heard me earlier say if this is a 6-game, if it's a short series, 5 or 6, that favors the Warriors, obviously, because they had a lead like that last season and blew it. If it goes 7 games, it'll be Cleveland, but I'm going to go with the Warriors in 6. I think Kevin Durant will get the MVP. He better get the MVP, to even make this narrative a thread respect. So we're going to see how it goes down. NBA Finals starts tonight, everybody. So get ready. Hopefully it's everything that it's been hyped up to be. But thank you, good folks, for joining us for another episode in the War Room. Shout out to everyone in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, all the callers who called in to holler at us. Tune in next week live right here or on demand on the War Room Sports Podcast Network for more great sports talk. We'll discuss the progress of the NBA Finals and much more. We'll also talk with Milwaukee Bucks legend and should-be Hall of Famer Bob Dandridge about his time in the NBA, winning the championship with Oscar and Kareem, and his thoughts on today's NBA game and the finals. So until then, enjoy your weekend of sports. Enjoy the NBA finals. Enjoy your week. We'll see you right back here next time. Be sure to catch our conversations on Facebook, Twitter, as well as our blogs, webcasts, and network podcasts on warroomsports.com. Also, don't forget to pick up Jimmy's book at sportsthebook.com or warroomsports.com. But until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
Know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. warroomsports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-1400-12. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Stop Back, the officer. I'm shot. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.
Wireless carriers love to gouge you for unlimited data. Come on! With T-Mobile One, you get unlimited at a price that doesn't break the bank. Right now, get 2 lines for just $100 a month with AutoPay. Taxes and fees included. All unlimited, all in. And for a limited time, get 2 free Samsung Galaxy S7s after rebate card. Why wait? Hurry to a store to switch today.
Top 3% of users greater than 28 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds. Activate HD video at no cost. Service price includes sales tax. Device offer requires port-in, trade-in, and finance agreements.
Hello.
Hello.
I got 2 free smartphones when I switched to Metro PCS.
One for him and one for me.
It's not for you. It's for people like me.
And parrots.
I knew I should have gotten a dog.
Get 2 free Samsung Galaxy J3 Prime smartphones when you switch 2 lines to Metro PCS and enjoy a 4G LTE network that's more reliable than ever before. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in past 90 days. See store for details, terms, and conditions.